is exactly the same way. Did you know that? Did you know that? God is the same way. He chooses who he will be friends with. And you know what? He has already chosen. Now, some of you may be thinking, well, you didn't choose me because I feel like God doesn't even know who I am. If you feel like that, don't raise your hand. I'm just saying there are some days I feel like that. But here's the real truth. God has chosen every one of us to be friends with. Every single person in this room, God chose to be your friend. It's not like God said, you will be my friend. And he just, you ever had somebody, they're rough? My younger brother's that way. He just, and he takes me, and he's much, much, much stronger than I am. And he takes me, and he just pulls me aside, and you're like, oh, man, And just, you don't have anybody like that? He's like, well, we're going to be friends, and you're like, you smell like pee. Right? No, here's God. God says, listen, I want to be your friend. And he chose you, and he chooses you. But here's the deal. We don't always choose him. Because when you get to choose, that means you have the freedom to choose who you want and who you don't want. And so many times we do not choose to be a friend of God. He gave us the freedom and the choice to pick him. God does not want a bunch of robots just, I love God and I'm going to church. I love God. It's not the way it works. It's like, hey, I want to go to church because I want to be with God. Hey, I want to live the right way. I want to talk about Jesus. I want to do the right thing. I want to be a friend with God. I want to spend time with him. I want to pray and just have that relationship with God. Let me show you something. This is something Jesus said in John chapter 15. Verse 15, this is Jesus speaking. He says, I no longer call you servants because a master does not confide in his servants. Now you are my, what is that word? Friends, since I have told you everything the Father told me. You didn't choose me, I chose you. See, from the very beginning, even before you were born, God chose you. God chose to be a friend with you. Now, here's what I want you to do. I want you to think for a second. If you have to close your eyes to think, then go ahead and do that. But I want you to think. Think of your friends. I want you to think of the friends that you spend time with every day, all the time, at school, on the phone. Think of your friends. Now, I want you to think for a second. These are the people you hang out with all the time. You chose to be friends with them. Now, think, why did I choose to be friends with them? I want you to really think about that. Why did I choose to be friends with these people? I had these friends in junior high. And I thought that they would be fun to hang out with, and I chose to be their friend. Now, I've had friends all the way from kindergarten that I still talk to, which was a long, long time ago. But I still have friends that I choose to still talk to them. But I had these friends in junior high. I wanted to be their friends because I thought they had fun. I thought they were cool. And I hung out with them, and I have no idea why. I didn't have anything in common with these guys. I joke around with them, but I just wanted to be cool. I chose them. You ever heard that saying, you can pick your friends, and you can pick your nose, but you can't pick your friend's nose? Anybody ever tried to pick your friend's nose? I don't want to know, nasty. Put your hands down, you gross people. That's sick. My wife won't even let me pick her nose. I've tried. She moves away at the last minute. You ever think about this? You ever heard in movies and stuff, you don't pick who you fall in love with? You don't get to decide who you fall in love with. Anybody ever heard that? That's retarded. Really, it's stupid. I hate this person, but I love them. I didn't pick them. I hate them, but I have to love them because it's stupid. It's retarded. We watch these romantic movies, girls. We watch these romantic movies, and, they fight like cats and dogs, but they love each other. And ultimately, isn't that all you need is just love? All you need is love. Oh, it's love, and it's beautiful. It's retarded. I don't believe that mess. I chose to love my wife. There was a point, and I remember it whenever I say, I love this person. I am choosing to love this person. When we walked down the aisle and we got married, I said vows to her. I promised my whole life to her, and I made that decision. I chose. I will love you for the rest of my life. It was someone that I grew to love. But I made a choice. I'm going to choose. There are days when it's hard for her to love me. There are days whenever I'm just grumpy and I say rude things and I make rude comments and and I go through and she's like, I still love him. And I'm like, I don't know why. Not her. She's always an angel. My wife is always lovely, if you're watching here. But there is a choice. And it's the same way we are with God. We choose to love God. Look at this. Proverbs chapter 18, verse 24. You guys know what I mean when I do this? There are friends. Everybody do this. Put your hands up. There are friends who destroy each other. But a real friend sticks closer than a brother. A real friend. That leads me to my second point. Friends speak. Now you're like, no duh, everyone talks. Everybody I know, they speak. It's like saying, speak, Rover, woof, right? It's a command you give a dog. No, seriously, everyone speaks. Friends speak. Now, listen, every one of your friends is speaking. Now, it says, what we do with friends? Everybody put your hands up. Friends, what does it say? There are friends who destroy each other, but a real friend sticks closer than a brother. Now, how does a friend destroy someone else? You ever had a friend say something, you're like, what? What did you just say to me? I know you didn't just say that to me. You ever had that happen? I know you are not talking to, you are talking to ugly person down the road, but you ain't talking to me. Right? Friends can say some rude things. You're like, rude? Don't be rude. You found that? Your friends ever say some things that really hurt? All the girls are yes, and the guys are like, no, stupid. He says something rude to me, I'll just hit him. I got in a fight when I was in 7th grade. Wait a minute. Y'all are stupid. All right, listen. No, I didn't sucker punch him. That's wrong. I got in a fight in 7th grade, and if you ask me why I got in a fight, I have no idea why. I think we got to saying stupid stuff to each other. We were good friends. In fact, we got suspended over. I had a teacher. We were coming out of the band room, and we started messing around and pushing each other. And before you know it, we're rolling around the ground. It really didn't look like that. It was probably just like two little kids going, ah! Okay? We were two little bitty kids. This teacher comes up, oh, you stop it. And I know it couldn't have been a serious fight because the size of this teacher, she was like this tall, just this big around. She's like, stop fighting. So she comes, pulls us out, and we're like, we ain't fighting. She goes, no, I saw it. You were fighting. She takes us to the principal. We got suspended for 3 days. Now, I was a straight A student, so to get suspended for 3 days means you get 3 days worth of zeros on everything. And I had a test on one of those days. I was like, so then I'm going up to the teacher, can I do some extra credit? Because my parents are going to kill me. But here's the deal. Sometimes friends do stupid stuff to each other. He got suspended too. We don't even know why we were fighting. I don't even think it was a real fight, but it just started like us saying stupid stuff to each other and pushing each other, and then it escalated into something really stupid. Sometimes friends say stupid things. Raise your hand if you ever said a stupid thing. Everybody should be raising your hand. Oh, this cat over here, he ain't never said anything stupid. He's like, I say smart things all the time. Look at this, Proverbs chapter 18. Listen. Proverbs chapter 18, verse 21. The tongue has the power of life and death, and those who love it will eat its fruit. The tongue has power of what? Life and death. Now, listen. A lot of times we use our tongue to speak death. You ever cuss somebody out? Don't raise your hand. Don't you raise your hand. I'm about to tell y'all something I'm real ashamed of. No. What are you doing on the front row?